name is Serena Bufalino. I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. My career started off as a special education teacher. When my students found out that there were kids in this world that did not have the right to go to school, inspired them. The concept behind the Haiti School Building Project was a small handful of youth in Toronto would help a small handful of youth here in Haiti. The Haiti School Building Project finally opened up last year, September 2018. It has successfully been running for 7 months now, and what I have seen is nothing shy of beautiful. One person with the support of others can literally transform the planet.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hi, Farin. This is exciting. I actually am hosting the show for the first part of the show. So before we get into it, I just want to let our audience know who we are. So we are Help Heal Humanity, and we are airing the Healing Humanity show tonight, live every Thursday night. In partnership with E362 TV and Diamond Factor. Our producer, Barbara, will be with us shortly, but I am starting the show off for us. And as always, it's another very, very, very special volunteer at our charity that I am really excited to have on the show. And like I said, Farin, I'm super excited to have you. So I will introduce you all, and she's already here where you can see her. This is Farin. So Farin, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before I start asking you all the questions?
Yeah. So it's Farron. You always do that, but
I always do that, right?
Yeah, she's known me for a long time. It's not. So essentially, I am a third year. I just finished my third year of university. I'm studying social work. I met Serena as I did my internship this past semester with her at Help Heal Humanity. And we got a lot of stuff done, and I got to know her really well. And we worked together amazingly well. And the work that Serena's doing is absolutely incredible. And I was honored to be a part of it, and I plan to continue to be a part of it. I personally, like myself, I just have a passion for helping people. I've done stuff in my past with organizations. I created a nonprofit and stuff. I just always have had a heart and care for people, especially those who are disadvantaged and not well off.
So we're going to get into that, and that's why I'm super excited to kind of unlayer all the amazing parts of you that make up who you are at such a young age. So for those of you who don't know, Help Heal Humanity is an international charity focused on education and nourishment. And we are volunteer-based. So our charity heavily relies on students, co-op students, intern students, students just willing to, get the experience of working with an NGO to build up their resume. And our charity, again, we really depend on students. And this year was a big, pleasant surprise and a big treat for not only myself, but Help Heal Humanity. As I'm going to say Farron again, but it's, tell me how many
Farron,
times?
Yeah, you got it that time.
The first in like 8 months. And so it was such a delight. She applied to our program. I had a meeting with her on one-on-one. And in that meeting, like, she absolutely blew me away. And then, she started coming into the office 2 days a week, 5 hours per shift. And the amount of work that we were able to do was just like phenomenal. So before I get into how much Help Heal Humanity depends on students like you and how students like you come in and make a tremendous difference for our organization, I want to first just take a step back because again, I didn't really realize, how much of a young uh, philanthropist we were coming to meet when we came to meet you. So could you just briefly tell us about when you were in high school, your heart and your desire and what you ended up accomplishing again, just as a teenager before we get into what you've done for Help Heal Humanity?
Yeah. So essentially in grade 9, my mom had like showed me a Facebook post, and it had this idea to like keep like a purse or like a bag with stuff for homeless people in your car, and you hand it out to them. And then I was like to my mom, let's make this bigger and like include the whole city. And then we came to the idea of using purses. So from there, I created a Facebook page. I called it Project Purse. And the idea was basically that I would encourage people in my city I'm from Thunder Bay, so that was where this was. Encourage people in the city of Thunder Bay to pack gently used purses with items that women in need would be beneficial to women in need. And yeah, so within like 3 days it blew up. We had 1,000 members, and I went and did drop-off boxes all over the city, and then I had the opportunity to personally hand out all of the purses through like shelters, organizations and stuff, because they know the women. And yeah, it blew up, and I think we ended up, and then I continued it for the 4 years of high school. And I had so much support from people in my community. People started doing like purse packing parties is what they called it. And in the end, I think over 1,500 packed purses were given out over the 4 years, which was huge because initially I was like, maybe we'll get like 50 purses when I started in grade 9, but then this entire thing blew up and turned into like a whole charity.
And that to me is absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I've always had a growing desire to help people, but like, I mean, in grade 9, how old are we? We are what, 13, 14 years old?
Yeah.
Is maybe 15 maximum, correct?
Yeah, I think,
Okay,
14 or 15.
Let's shoot for the stars here. We might be 15 years old, and at that time I thought, the best way that I could help people was like maybe helping my parents and like doing extra things to support my parents or my sisters or my like family. Mm-hmm. But I did not realize, like, again, the capacity of someone like you with a heart and a desire at 15 years old, in a city, do you consider, a rural city or?
Yeah, it was northern. Yeah. So it's a northern type city. There's a lot of homeless population there.
So in a northern city here in, in Ontario, Canada, that a 15-year-old would take this challenge, to do something for her community, specifically to help women. And what I also love so much about what you started and then what you grew, in a way that you weren't even, you couldn't even imagine at such a young age, and to be like the CEO and a founder of like a charity in your city at 15 years old is like absolutely incredible. So I'm sure that journey was like so insightful for you. But I love the way you went about doing it, because I remember sitting in the office together and we were watching, you were interviewed on TV, right? You were interviewed on various news stations, you were in newspapers. And the way that you went about doing it was not necessarily like asking people for money or for goods, right? So maybe you can explain, how you kind of put this together by just asking people to be kind and go through the stuff that they already had in their house, right?
I think that was the best part of it. And I think that's why people loved it so much in Thunder Bay. Was the idea was you had like so many women have gently used purses in the back of their closet, and I found people were like, oh my goodness, like I have so many. So they would take their gently used purse, and then the unique aspect of it and the creative aspect, I think, allowed people to really get into it. So people would pack their purses with their little things. People put little notes in there. I saw like the cutest little thing put inside of the purses, and each one was super unique and special. So I think that was kind of why it blew up so much and everybody loved it. And it also had such a big impact because of that, because you could just see the care, like each purse was packed with so much love and so much care for the woman who was going to be receiving it.
And then, like you said, and then that's something else that Help Heal Humanity, we're very proud of, and we take integrity in, is that if we are asking for donations, whether it's money or whether it's like gently used donations, that we actually have that personal connection with the people that we are delivering the items and or the money used towards a project too. And like you said, I can't even imagine the amount of support like your mom must have given you during that time, because you're such a minor, right? And you have this big idea, and this big idea comes to life, and with your passion and the support of family and the entire community. And again, and I say the entire community because I watched the news stations and I saw some of the clippings, and you had the whole community. Like you had all the stores, like Shoppers Drug Marts. I don't know, what were some of the places where people were allowed to go and drop off their donations?
Maurice's, I had like a 50 plus center that was going on, the mall and stuff. I had Tim Hortons donate gift cards and Subway donate gift cards and stuff, and like the local Subways and stuff, and churches all over the place were also doing their drop-off boxes. And yeah, the drop-off boxes were literally like all over the city. We had some in like there's like a living wellness center on the like downtown side of town, and then we had like some more out in the country. And yeah, it was insane how much support we got. Like the community just really hopped on it. And what you were saying in the one video is if you give people the chance to help, they will support it, right? And that was the thing with it. Like that was the biggest thing that I realized was people want to help, they just need the opportunity. And a lot of people are scared to take that step, but once you take that step, people are going to follow behind you.
And again, this is why I think you and I are like kindred spirits, and we connected instantly in the office, and like every day I really do. I valued our time together, and like you said, hopefully you do remain, and I think we created a great bond with each other, because it was that spirit that you also brought in, like that positive energy, and that, when you came in, and this is what I say to all the co-op students and or to our board members or to anybody, if you just come in with an open heart, and just be open to whatever the process is, we can create magic together. And like you came into HHH, and like, how would you even describe your job title? Like that would be like probably one of those things. Right.
And I tried to tell so many people what my job is there, and I'm like, I just like do everything.
and it's true. And this is, again, like to have you in our office 10 hours a week over the period of, almost 6 months. You were helping with phone calls, you were helping with administration, you were organizing documents for us, and this is like, again, this is what you talk about, go get them, young humanitarians, leadership. I mean, you definitely display all of those qualities. I mean, you started looking at possible grants. You started writing letters of, inquiry to other places, asking them like, these are our projects, this is our mission, this is the money, the funds. And like, for me to see you just go jump in, dive in, and be able to do all those things. You did our report cards, you did our, you're helping us do our term 2 report cards. You did, you helped with our collection of donations. I mean, I don't think, no matter what it was that I asked you, you immediately said yes. You never hesitated, even when you didn't know what exactly the process was. You went and figured it out.
Yeah.
And to me, to know that there's such inspiring young leaders out there, such as yourself, it is so inspiring. And to know that you shared that gift with our charity. That you shared that gift with our charity was like absolutely mind-blowing to me. And that's why I know you said you were a little bit nervous about coming on the show tonight. It kind of is both of our first in a sense. I've never fully,
done the hosting.
Yeah, the hosting thing. Barbara does the hosting thing. She will be joining us shortly, but she asked me to take it on. And, I was like, yeah, for sure. Why not?
Yeah, you're killing it.
And I think that's part of, the great spirits, is you do all things with fear, and and you just even though you have that fear, you just go for it anyways. Like you at 15 years old with Project Persis, and now doing your intern with us. And so I guess whether it was Project Persis, whether it's working with HHH, maybe just explain like, what that process of giving back is like for you, and why, you at such a young age, starting at like probably even younger than 15, but for sure at 15, why was helping vulnerable communities or making the underdog a winner something that was, did it come naturally to you? Like, was it instilled in you? Like, maybe walk us on that journey and what it has done for your growth and development.
Mm-hmm. I think like growing up the way I was raised and the way my parents raised me, for one, definitely like really impacted it. And then just like I grew up in a very like privileged family. Like I lived in a nice house. I have everything that I could have possibly needed. I played all the sports and stuff like that. And I think that gave me an eye into it. And I did some volunteering when I was younger. And then I've always had like a heart, like in Thunder Bay, there's a lot of times you see them here too. Like they're holding the signs with the asking for money and stuff. And I was always the kid who was like, hey, mom or dad, can you give me some money so I can go and give it to them? Or like we would go buy them a meal or something, right? Like my heart just always really ached for people who didn't have what most humans should be able to have. And yeah, I think from there, I wanted to be able to do more, and I knew that I could do more.
Have you always had that strength and belief in yourself, or did you know what more meant? Like, how did you figure out what to do with it?
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I was bullied like a lot back in middle school and elementary school, and that took a huge hit to my own confidence. And I think it took me a while to get that back. I'm still working on getting that back. But I think seeing how people are treated, and then I was like, I don't want people to be treated that way. And like as time went on, I think I kind of transferred into using my insecurities, but I changed it into, no, I can make a difference. And like that kind of fueled it a bit, I think, because it gave me a purpose and I was doing something good, right?
You totally got me there, and I want to ask you more questions about that, because I think you just opened up and you revealed, which thank you for that, because that is courageous. You revealed something that was happening in your life that was hurting you and bringing you down. And instead of, and this to me is like you like ring the bell, hit the money, and this is what I tell everybody, in being of service to others, we're actually really doing good for ourselves,
Yeah.
And I always tell people, like, when you are hurting, when you are down, when you are, not okay, the negative, the depression, and all the things, the limiting thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
even just for 1 second, if you
Yeah.
could get yourself outside that thought, because those thoughts can consume you and they can continuously make life dark and hard and difficult. But if like what you did, and I'm grateful that I, was able to experience that myself too, because I do believe, one, the majority of the people that are in service work or in charity work or in this type of giving stems from something deep inside, right? And when we can, through our own experiences, be able to turn that hurt into something good, it builds us up, it gives us faith, and then you nailed it. It gave you purpose.
Yeah, I think that's always been what's really drove me to help people. Like that's always been the one thing. If I'm like, when I go through those hard times, I struggle with mental health and stuff. The one thing that keeps me going is, no, I want to be able to help people, and there's a drive and a purpose, and I can make the difference.
And like you said, and you figured this out at 15 years old. Like, hello, there are people that will go their entire lifetime who are so, whether they're driven or not driven, whether, it's mental health, we all have mental health, good and bad, all these different sectors of who we are. I think a lot of us miss that one point, that we are capable and we can do something. Now, I never believed that concept ever in my life, that like me, and again, I had my struggles, I struggled with academics, some people, like you said, it's mental health. Some people it's feelings, emotions. Some people it's actual disease. And, how could I do something to help somebody else? Like, it just didn't even make sense to me. And then all of a sudden you just go for it.
Yeah.
Like you did with Purse Pro. Is it called
Probably
Purse
first.
Project? And like, could you imagine it? Like you said, 3 days, you already had so many, how many followers? 1,000?
Over 1,000. Yeah, it just blew up.
Right. And so, you thinking like, I don't even know if I can do this. I'm going to try it. And then something like that happens to you. Like, how, like explain that. Like, how does that make you feel? Like to watch the growth of that, to see the number of female residents that were living on the streets or living in very vulnerable communities be able to access a purse. And you asked for essential items to be in that purse, right? I think you asked for feminine products.
Yeah, there was a list of 8 essential items that like were kind of necessary.
Do you want to tell us what those 8 essential items
are? So toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, feminine products, brush or comb, and I'm missing one.
And then you had some gift cards in there, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's exactly like Christopher here is saying, setting in examples for others to follow. Like, definitely kick ass. And I think, did your mom just remind you what the other?
Yeah, my mom was like, "It's Kleenex." I was thinking that, but
right. And to know that this community, your community came together to donate purses, fill the purses with essential items, and then you had this opportunity to bring that out into the community and give it to the women, and see how just that one act of kindness made such a difference in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a real life experience that you got to bear witness to at such a young age.
Yeah.
Right. That to me is absolutely mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, and then having the privilege of having you come to our charity and give your gifts and your talents. Like I remember going back to the board and saying, like, the student we got is incredible, and just your work ethic and your dedication. And, I can't thank you enough. I know the members of Help Heal Humanity can't thank you enough for putting in the time, for putting in the service. And maybe for all the young people out there that are listening, that go back on and play the preview and, watch somebody like you, because you really are an inspiration, right? You're a young female. You're still in college. And, you're still trying to figure it out yourself and where you're going, but yet you still continue to give. So maybe you can give some words of wisdom out there to, your fellow colleagues and, the rest of the people that are in high school or university about why they should, take a challenge and do something like you have just devoted your life to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things I've always said to people, and I've always told people, because so many people like my age have been like, how did you do that? And simply, it's just go for it. Like, just take the step out and throw yourself into the unknown. What's the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't blow up and it doesn't go anywhere, but you'll still be definitely helping at least one person, right? And that makes all the difference in someone's life. So yeah, I think the biggest advice that I can give anybody is to just go for it. And most of the time, I promise you, people will follow behind you and support you, because people want to help and have a desire to help. There is good in the world.
Right. And that's why, we have this Healing Humanity show, live every Thursday night with guests such as yourself, and then on the second half of the show, we have another great guest from the YWCA. And it's, we all have this story. I love that you tapped into the story from the true essence of who you are, that you, like everybody else in the world, like myself, we all hit a struggle in our lives. We all have the dark times in our life. And if we use our dark times to shed light onto others, it will start to lift our light and make our light brighter, right? Mm-hmm. And so if we could be that catalyst for change, and take that step, that is the hardest part, is taking that step. Because once you take the step, as you had indicated, which is very similar to, me taking my first step and trying to build a school in Haiti, was you take that step, and I don't know if it's God, universe, higher power, I don't know what it is, but it's like this higher force is watching you, and then just starts to put the next step in front of you, and the next step, and even like, I always tell people, you don't need to know every step of the journey. You don't need to have the entire directions figured out, just be open, and let it be guided for you. And you are a true example of that, and a true example of that at such a young age. And then, to go on and to do what you're doing for Help Heal Humanity. So we only have a few more minutes. And I'm wondering if there's anything that you would like to share, anything that you want to bring up. Now is your chance.
Yeah. I think just you keep praising me, but then there's you. Everything that you've done and working with you, I've told people you're one of my biggest mentors now. Everything that you've done and who you are as a person, you are such a independent and strong and caring person. And yeah, I want to grow up and be like you. Right. But yeah, I think just the opportunity that I've had with you and Help Heal Humanity as a charity has been huge. We've done so much, and I can't wait to see where else we go. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not just gonna disappear. Right.
Well, yeah, and I know I'm really holding you accountable to that. And now you've said it on air, and now
it's live.
And now we can have people go back and take that clip, and I can send it to you and say, remember that time when you said you weren't going anywhere? Well, I need your help, right? And that's the thing, I am grateful for you, and I know we did build a great relationship, and I know, life isn't easy, college, university, high school, relationships, family, all of that is difficult, and you still made the time to show up for us and give your time and give your spirit. And on behalf of everyone at Help Heal Humanity, thank you for the great work that you're doing, that you have done, and the leadership that you possess and that you will continue to carry forward. And I'm so grateful to you. I'm turning off that phone. That's the school board calling me. And again, I think I know your mom is there, and I know she's in the background, so I'm going to say hi, Mama. I've heard so much about you. Thank you for building such a beautiful, bright daughter. I look forward to, continuing to change the world with you. And, I know we're going to see each other in the next coming days. And just thank you for your time, your energy, and you're not going anywhere. And, I'm hoping that one day Help Heal Humanity does be able to hire students like you so that you could be here full time, because I know your spirit, your drive, your wisdom, your energy is contagious. It's commendable. And I look forward to continuing to work with you. And, you are one of our star students. And yeah, thank you for everything.
Thanks, Serena. You're so sweet.
Thank
Although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have, to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big. And it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you. I love you. I look forward to doing this with you today.
My name is Serena Bufalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Raise your hand if you've ever been busy. Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They, like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming, to give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
Hello.
I'm so happy.
You did amazing. You did awesome. You're a pro. You are a pro.
Well, thank you. But I was like, I'm happy you're back.
You're so funny. See, that's what partnership does. We just love on each other, right? So we're to the point where we miss each other when we don't see each other.
That's it. And, we got each other's back. You're like, can you?
I know. And you had my back. And you had my back. I was like, oh my gosh, she just did this. I mean, you've been hiding. Okay. So that was awesome interview. I mean, she has done so much for you, Serena, so much. I thought she was a board member.
No, yeah, I know. She's incredible. And at such a young age, what she's been able to do. And, and our next guest. Woo!
Yes. Yeah, well, let's bring our next guest on because she's in what I call the virtual back room. So this is Sarah. Is it Ernest?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, let me read some of her. She has this oh my God, like a book. And I know she's probably writing one because she has so much to offer. So she's the founder. She founded the YMCA Hamilton is one of Hamilton's oldest social innovators and a leading social service organization meeting the needs of the city's most vulnerable women, girls, and families. So their mission is to strengthen women and girls' voices, broaden their choices, build dynamic leadership, and provide essence and meaningful services that promote safe and equitable, because I'm looking at those words, communities. So part of this is a movement. I love what she says, a movement which impacts over 330,000 people annually through the work of the YMCA across Canada. And now I'm just giving little snippets, but I want her, because this is why we want her to bring her on, because this, I call women queens. You know that, Serena, right? Because you're like the queen bee. So we're going to bring her on so she can give us more insight of the things that she does. There she is.
Hello. I will gladly enter any space as a queen and be called a queen. So thank you, Barbara, for that. I love that.
You are deemed as the queen.
I will take my crown. I will wear it proudly. Thank you for that. Yes. Hello.
Hello. Sarah, you know I absolutely love you. I adore you. Everything you stand for. We don't have enough time, so I'm going to just like throw it right to you because you work with really one of the largest organizations, not only in Canada, but I believe the YWCA International. It's all over the world.
Yeah, we're global. Yeah.
And so I'm going to let you talk because I know you have so much incredible things to share in such a short period of time.
Thank you. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm Sarah. I have the absolute pleasure of leading our team at YWCA Hamilton. So locally in Hamilton, we impact the lives of over 10,000 people each and every year. Our focus is we're very multi-service. So working with folks who have developmental disabilities through our DS programs, women experiencing homelessness, shelters, youth programs, leadership programs, employment programs, seniors programs. The list goes on, but we serve folks who are marginalized and who have experienced poverty, trauma, violence, homelessness in our community, providing direct supports to them to help them get back on their feet. And our impact and our reach is not just felt locally. So as Serena said, we are one member association of many across Canada. So we have 32 active YWCAs straight across Canada. We serve the unique needs of our individual communities. So we all have similar advocacy and service pillars, but operate a little differently because all of our communities look a little different. And we're also part of a global movement. So we have YWCAs in every country around the globe, and that all roll up to what is called World YWCA. So we're federated, every office rolls up to a national association. So we roll up to YWCA Canada. And that's where across Canada, we impact the lives of over 330,000 women and girls every year. So that number keeps growing because we keep growing and delivering some pretty incredible new programs and projects and services and supports in our community.
And like you said, I mean, like you guys are really big, especially in our community. And I was fortunate enough when I came back from the pandemic, because I hadn't been, in the city of Hamilton for at least 20 years. And I think I came back within the first couple of weeks I'd met you, and I had like the biggest girl crush.
Yeah, ditto.
Yeah. Sarah always has beautiful lipstick on, and it doesn't matter. She's always comes into the Zooms ready to rock and roll. Ready. And in the short time that I have met Sarah and made some Help Heal Humanity has made some partnerships with the YWCA. It is absolutely incredible the amount of the impact that you have, right? From all Help Heal Humanity was able to do in support of YWCA was with some of the meal programs during the pandemic, and then a little bit of programming with some of the students that we were trying to engage during the pandemic. But then aside from that, I know the YWCA is working on a really big initiative in our city right now, and I wish we had all the money in the world that we could even partner, right, and Help Heal Humanity be a part of that. But we're still small and growing. We're not at that capacity yet, but maybe you can tell us about, aside from all the amazing things that you guys are doing, one of the big projects you guys are working on right now.
I would love to. And I absolutely love that I'm looking at our building right now on the screen. So thank you. And Serena, Help Heal Humanity like came through big for us. So the support we received through helping to eliminate food insecurity at a time when people were really struggling. They still are in our community, but at that time, especially when a lot of things were closed and we couldn't get things to people, the support we received through you and your connections and networks as well was like so amazing. And just here now, right? Being here, this is supporting the campaign, helping to spread the word and raise awareness. So thank you for pulling that up on screen. So what we're doing now, our YWCA Hamilton has prioritized building affordable housing, safe, permanent, affordable housing for women and women-led families in our Hamilton community. So this, we know there is no shelter space. Shelters are full. I don't know if you or anyone you know has tried to buy a house lately, but it is ridiculous, right? It's not feasible for many people. So right now we are embarking on our largest campaign to build what we're calling the new Putman Family YWCA. It's a $24.4 million build in the heart of the Crown Point community on Ottawa Street. We have 50 units that we have designated for women and women-led families. 15 units are specifically for women with developmental disabilities, and the remaining units are prioritized for women with mental health issues, who have experienced violence, who may have mobility challenges, women who are Indigenous. So this space is really crucial. We've been collaborating with the community now for over 9 years to understand the need. And not only are they looking for affordable housing, but dedicated space for the community to come together. So this new facility also has community spaces. We have a youth zone, a youth hub, which I know, Serena, you're a fan of this one. We have senior spaces and then dedicated space for innovation programming. So moving women, girls, different folks in our community into what are typically sectors overrepresented by men. So think of like skilled trades, STEM fields, pre-apprenticeship, construction. We're offering these programs focused on women right in this facility. So it's pretty amazing. We currently have raised our capital campaign goals $5 million. So 24 point, I know, Barbara, you're like, wow, I know, me too. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but we can do it. We can do it. We're so close. So to date, we've already raised $3.8 million. So thank you. Yes, clap, clap. Ooh, throw a party. We have been, thank you. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. I mean, we need to have a meeting.
Okay, let's just take a moment. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Oh, you guys are so fun. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing our hard work. It's been a long go, and you can imagine Serena, fundraising for charity during also a pandemic, at a time when a lot of folks are trying to keep their doors open and their lights on, or their businesses still running, or philanthropy is not a priority when you're trying to figure out how to put food on the table for a lot of folks. So it's been a tough go, but we 3.8 million raised to date. We have 1.2 million left to go, and we have to raise it by the end of this year. So we are on a mission to get this done and get these women in their new homes. For many, it'll be their first home ever. Their children, the first time their kids will have their own bedrooms. It's a pretty magical thing, and it's a stunning facility. So that's what we're working on. One of the things we're working on over here.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful to see, as a small, just getting started charity, to have the privilege and the honor to work with, such an established charity such as the YWCA. and to see the way you work together and how organized and how structured and how big the team is and all the various departments, that is, ultimate goal here. But just to watch the way you all work together. And again, it's all women led, and we're not dismissing men. And what I love about that too is Peter Van Dyke. Peter Van Dyke, who is somebody else that we've met through the YWCA. Incredible contact. He actually didn't he win one of the community leaders, like a male won the female.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he was recognized as last year's YWCA Hamilton Volunteer of the Year Award.
Right.
So that's, for his incredible contributions and support in the community and for bringing folks in. So Pete is actually, along with Aaron Dunham, who's a fierce entrepreneur, CEO in our Hamilton community. Aaron and Peter are both co-chairs of this capital campaign. So it's really with their leadership as well that's, steering the way and helping see this through. It's pretty exciting.
And so that's what I mean. I know sometimes some people get, maybe a little bit upset that we're too much girl power, even though that is not possible.
Never enough.
Possible, right? I love
over it.
The inclusiveness of men too. And then there is the YMCA, which everybody knows about the YMCA. So it's just, you are covering, both populations, as you just happen to represent the YWCA, but the YMCA is doing very similar things. And, just quickly, and maybe this can go towards the need of your campaign. And, we're going to give you an opportunity to tell people how to get involved and how to donate, because I think it's important that you guys reach your goal and the Y reaches their goal. I'm just starting to work again in an alternative school in Hamilton, and I'm literally, steps away from the YWCA. And today I took a walk with some of the youth in my program, and we walked by the Y, and, the Y is doing incredible things. And it's I think people know that that's where they go when they need something, but you can also see the number of residents outside the Y who the Y is trying very hard to support and to, to do what they can, but it's just, you don't have the space to be able to do the intake for them. And that's just, trying to paint the picture to our fellow viewers, and especially the people in our area, Hamilton, Ontario, where, I am from as well, is this demand and this need. You have the women right outside the shelter wanting to get in. And so that's why it's a big call to action for our community and for people around the world who are watching this, to know that you're so close to reaching your goal, and that, you already have the people in place to put in there. You just need the funding to complete the goal. So, I just wanted to point that out, that I think the services that you're doing, and and the YM is right in front of our, the building that I'm working in. You guys are, the YM and the YW are very close.
We're close, yeah.
And you see the need right outside the shelters of the people that need these services, and that's why it's and maybe we can have you on in 6 months again, so you can continue to promote, and we can
of course,
see how far along in your journey you are coming. To reach that goal, because it's such a much needed service. So maybe you can, again, do your, why it's so important, why it's needed, what exactly, how do you reach out to the donors? How do you get more to participate in something that, that's what's inspiring about what you're doing right now. You're so close to the goal.
We're so close. And the need is great. Yeah, the need is great. And Serena, you're touching on a lot of the programming that is within our McNabb Street facility, our McNabb Street YWCA. We know, so right now Hamilton has been ranked as the third least affordable housing market in Canada. And on any given night in our community, we know over 400 women are experiencing homelessness in Hamilton. Recently, so this was a few months ago, I believe, but the city of Hamilton does I think it's every 2 years. I might be wrong. Every year or two. It's a point in time count. So they actually go around and survey the city to identify folks who are visibly sleeping rough or who are homeless. So that point in time count was just completed. And we have now identified that 52% of the visibly homeless population in Hamilton are women. So this is, and we can imagine that that number is also a lot higher. That's just what is visible on one given night of the year. So women are often known and referred to as hidden homeless. So it's, of all the folks who are unhoused in our community, it is the most unsafe to be unhoused and to be a woman. You are most at risk. So women get really creative in finding spaces where they can shelter, right? Sleeping in cars and abandoned spaces, couch surfing, staying with their friends and their families because they have children and they can't bring their children into shelters. So we, the YWCA Hamilton, is addressing this need through a lot of different ways. We have the transitional living program, which Serena, you're referencing at McNabb. So that's a 65-bed residence that we have for women who have experienced violence, homelessness, may have mental health issues, addictions, folks who need support now, and who are trying to get back on their feet or get into a pipeline to then find later affordable housing when and if it's available. Mm-hmm. That program is only intended to be temporary. It's called transitional living, to help women transition and get back on their feet. But we're seeing residents staying with us for years because there's nowhere for them to go, because there is no affordable housing. There are no options after they leave. We have our Phoenix Place program as well, which is our second stage shelter. It's in a confidential location in Hamilton for women and families who have fled violence and who are now sheltering and getting the support they need, counseling, financial literacy, safety planning, the skills they need to get on their feet. And again, moving them along into affordable housing, helping them secure housing. We also have our shelters that are emergency overnight shelters that were once, only pre-COVID, supposed to be for 2 months, 3 months out of the year during the coldest months, so women wouldn't freeze to death in our streets. Because of COVID and the increase and the lack of shelter beds available, and the increased need, we have had to make that, what was once a temporary shelter, permanent. So this program has been open now for 2 years on an ongoing basis because the need is so great. So this is, the Putman Family YWCA and YWCA Hamilton delivering on permanent affordable housing specifically for women in our community is so critical. Now more than ever, just given the state we're in and the fact that folks don't have a place to go. So we're trying to innovate and create some solutions.
Well, Sarah, you're just doing, that's like I say, Serena, you two are just angels for this world. I'm telling you. Because you bring the heart of what's needed. You have a heart of gold. And that's why I just fell in love with Serena when I met her. I'm falling in love with you, Sarah. It's just like, I just want to make all the money in the world so I can just give it to you. I just want to give
me all the money.
Give it.
You know what? I always say we don't even want the money for ourselves. Like today, I was saying to my colleague, I was like, I want to win the lottery. Yeah. Not because I
say that all the time.
So I can I want it because I bought it for that. And I think that's what, that's why we're,
If I won the lottery today, I would say, okay, the check, make it out to Help Heal Humanity and YWCA, get it right, Barbara. And don't even send it to me. I don't even have to touch it. I don't have to see an account. I just want to make sure it's their account because it's such a need right now. It's just so much. And see, that's why I love this show, because people need to know. People need to know. And I feel like we're the hidden, diamonds that people are not seeing. And then they have to well, where are they? What are you talking about? So this is like, we're putting people on, I hate to say it like this, but on blast to say, this is the need. This is what's going on. You need to know what's needed here, and you need to come in and help. And not just, I know we ask for the money, but also volunteers. We need help with volunteers too. Yeah. So I just, every time somebody comes on here, and Serena knows I get all like butterflies inside because it just warms my heart to see the work that you're doing. And I just commend you so much. And people need to keep commending you because you're doing such a great job in this world. So Sarah, thank you so much. That's why you're queens.
I know what happens at this time. I know, Sarah, you're going to get, 2 minutes to do a final pitch to our audience, and then we close out with videos. But before we get to that, I do also always have to bring it back to Barbara, because Barbara and E360 TV have given us, Help Heal Humanity, this platform. And what Barbara said was she wanted this platform to be something that Help Heal Humanity, we can, grow awareness, we can get our message out there. But she was also very committed to the world knowing about other charities and other people making a difference. And that's why having people like you, Sarah, come on, that we can all share our stories and what we're doing and why we do it and how to get people involved is so important. So thank you, Barbara. Thank you, E360 TV. Thank you, Sarah. And now I'm going to let you guys take it away. And I love you so much.
So Sarah, what we usually do, we give you like 30 seconds just to say whatever you want to say, some lasting words, because we're going to bring you back. So just know that you're coming back. But just for today, but we're going to take ourselves down because we want you to be spotlighted, okay?
Okay, spotlight me. Thank you, Barbara. Okay, here's my appeal. Help build a Hamilton first. Affordable housing for women and women-led families. We need it now more than ever. We cannot do it without you, Hamilton and Halton, our friends. We have $1.2 million to raise, and we can't do it without you. Please consider, if you can, make a donation online, womenbuildhamilton.com. Volunteer with us. Follow us on social media. Help however you can, however you're able. It all matters. It is all appreciated. So join us. Let's build affordable housing. Let's get women and families into their permanent forever homes and do it. Visit womenbuildhamilton.com.
Yay! Thank you, Sarah.
It was so much fun.
Yes, and we're going to have you back, and we'll send you the link so that you can share with others, and maybe we'll make a little call to action that you can use to send to people. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
I don't want to let you go.
You don't have to. I'll stay forever. Just kidding. I got to go get sleep now so I can change the world tomorrow.
Yes. Okay.
Bye, Barbara.